thing I'm sure he doesn't, or I'm sure he'll appreciate that being said, because that usually goes unseen. And in every one of his fights, he's checked the majority of the low kicks thrown at him.
Alex, what's your way whenever you're in there? You check kicks. What's your way of checking? What are you looking for? Are you looking for the hip to turn, or are you looking? What are you looking for? What do you focus on?
Man, that's actually a good question. I myself have a ridiculously high check percentage, like in the high 90s. I've never really been low kicked hard in a fight. I've had 50 fights. I think when somebody has a really good jab, like both of these guys do, but Trey especially is where the one talking, he's the one checking the kicks. I think just fighting at that range, you're like able to kind of react to anything they throw. In the nice, good right hand there from Willingham. But like the reaction of a low kick to a check is a very simple lead knee lift and angle.
So nothing you're really focusing on. Where do you look? Do you look in your opponent's eyes, or you look at his chest and shoulders?
Man, in a fight, I try to look at their chin, because that's what I'm aiming for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard, like, look at their chest, look at their chin. If you look at them in the eyes, you're going to catch a crafty veteran who's going to look low and then hit you high.
Yeah.
So it's best not to look at him in the eyes. Unless you're a crazy person. There's plenty of those in MMA. Fighting in a cage for fun is usually not very normal.
Yeah, I say it all the time, Alex. None of us are normal here. We all like to fight our friends.
Again, I know it's easier said than done. But if either one of these guys could add 1 or 2 punches at the end of their combos, I think they'd meet the mark. Now, granted, that keeps you in that counter zone a little longer. Like, I get the risk. But after my last fight, I mean, my coach did a great job, but, let's add on to some of these combos that land. Especially if you hit them and you know they're out of position.
Yeah, both these guys, I mean, we see Willingham put that hand on the head again and kind of keep his distance with that hand.
That was a nice jab, left hook, straight right there from Willingham. Notice Willingham keeps his left hand low. And Treyvon noticed that in the first round and threw a couple overhands, but Willingham did such a good job kind of rolling at the punch. Switch stance, check kick there from Treyvon. A little big body shot from Trey. These guys finally end up clinching up. Little knee to the leg there from Willingham. Underrated strike in the clinch. The knee to the quad.
It looked like Treyvon was trying to bait him into thinking he could throw him and then drop his hips down and had his hand behind it. The mouthpiece just came out of the mouth and it's outside the cage.
I'm gonna toss it in there to Patrick.
Put it in your mouth first, and yeah, I don't think he knows. I think the mouth guard is outside the cage. It fell through the cage out of his mouth. Alex putting it back in. Alex put it in his mouth and then spit it into the cage. Thank you, Alex.
It's right below you, Pat.
Alex, you didn't have to put that in your mouth before you spit it back in the cage, but
we're gonna make sure it was a mouth guard. It was. No, there's one thing that I like, as a fighter and coach and now commentator, is just, the safety of the fighters. And like anytime, like a strap comes off or mouthpiece comes out, let's make sure these guys have no extra risk at taking damage. And Pat's doing the right thing, because these guys are in a very active grappling exchange right now. If they break, he'll call a timeout, but this is not the time to stop it. Kimura attempts here from Willingham, but ends up giving his back up.
Yeah, this is not good for Willingham.
And this is why you don't stop for things like a mouthguard falling out. This is the most significant action in round 2.
Yeah, this may have just won Treyvon Coker this round.
I had a fight, and in the 3rd round, my opponent's mouthpiece not only fell out, but it fell in between the apron and the cage. It took him about 8 minutes to get the fight going again. So now I always bring 2 mouth guards. I brought 2 mouth guards in my last fight, and the commissioner was like, "Do you have your second mouth guard?" And I was like, "Yes, I do." And they said I was the only fighter they've ever met to actually bring 2. It was so funny.
Really?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, Alex always prepared, always ready to go, leaves nothing to chance. Man, Alex, Rahil's just getting here. Welcome, Rahil, to the team, but Man, this has been an unbelievable. We've seen just about everything you can see here. We've seen the bloodiest fights. Maybe the bloodiest fight in Fury history, Raheel.
I've never seen shorts turn red.
Man.
That was wild. Fight number 2, Cota against Coubles. I was watching as I was driving in here. Shout out to full self-driving on the Tesla because I don't want to get a ticket, but I was watching.
Very cool.
But, man, great card so far, and round 3 now for this awesome striking display thus far. And, fight 4 of our prelims, and thank you guys for holding down the fort.
Well, it was a very loose hold down, but we were able to keep it close to the ground.
Yeah, the cage isn't on fire, so I think we did a good job.
You guys did great, man. It was excellent watching. Ooh, man.
It was the most significant strike of the fight, and Treyvon knows it. Big left hand, level change there. From Willingham.
Treyvon turning up the heat here a little bit, and they've gotten a little bit overzealous in that attack there. Now Willingham having his back here.
I was just about to say, Willingham does seem to be a little more comfortable on the feet as he was throwing and landing a few more right hands than normal, at least than in round 1. But as we saw in this second round, Willingham initiated a takedown, went for the Kimura on the cage, got his back taken. So even though he initiated the grappling, he ended up in the worst spot. A gritty head fight position there from Willingham.
How do you guys have the score so far?
Rounds 1 and 2? I knew you were going to ask that.
Yeah, you got to catch me up.
Round 1 was as close as it gets. Yes. Both guys had very similar activity, volume, and damage done. Round 1, a genuine coin flip. Even with stats on the screen, I still think it's super close. Round 2 was equally as close until the final exchange where Treyvon got to Willingham's back and threatened a naked choke. I do believe in an even round that did turn the tide in his favor. And we see now in this third round, there's actually more wrestling than there's been the entire fight. Initiated there by Willingham, but as he gets his back exposed again. Now, no knock on that shot if he can get out of here, but if he ends up getting dragged down and his back taken, he needs to stop engaging. Same sequence, going for the Kimura. This is dangerous in MMA. You do this against a high-level grappler, they're going to be on your back in a flash.
Treyvon Coker, so proud of his endurance and cardio, told us before the fights that, you remember those pacers you had to do in elementary school? It was like a fitness test. He said he was really good at it, so something he's been focused on. One of the more entertaining guys on the Fury roster always. That's what he decided to bring up in pre-fight interviews. And I heard you say 5'6". That has become the meme now of Treyvon Coker. He is not 5'6", no. But he always puts 5'6" on his height. Yeah, we measure it. Yeah, we still put it.
Yeah, he's got 5'6" on Tapology. We saw it here on the tail of the tape, and then I looked up at him and I was like, wait, I forgot.
It's one of the best
He's not
memes right now. Yeah.
It's a nice takedown defense there from Willingham. What's funny is I think both guys would rather break and strike, but it can be challenging to try to disengage when someone has an overhook or an underhook. I'll tell you, Willingham has committed to a little bit more of a grappling game plan in maybe like the last minute of round 2 and for the entirety of round 3. Got Fury fighting vet Diego Lopez in the house. Congratulations to Diego for his big UFC 300 knockout.
Man, what a moment. He's here in town to watch Cameron Smotherman, who has been his main training partner leading up to UFC 300. So we'll talk a little bit more about that on our main broadcast. But Diego Lopez, Fury fighting veteran, here in attendance, inside the cage now. Treyvon Coker having a lot to deal with Craig Willingham.
Yeah, Willingham did a good job getting him to the ground, have back exposure, like try to jump the back, take and go for a choke, slipped off, had a front headlock, but Treyvon hand fought and got up to his feet. And here we are now. Still a weird fight to call, judging wise. I think Willingham is up in this third round just because of his aggression in the wrestling sense. Treyvon did land that big right hand right in the beginning of round 3, but for the last 4 minutes, Willingham's been kind of grinding him out on the cage.
Yeah,
sorry, go ahead, Mike.
The judges will have a little bit of a short memory when it comes to that. If it happens in the first few seconds of the round, and then the rest of the round goes a certain way. I mean, everybody's a little bit different about how they keep score and how they do it. Pretty much on pull guard.
I've noticed. I see it. I think these judges are taking notes now, which is so awesome. If I'm not mistaken, Ryan Thompson is the one who started that, a new school judge, one of the best judges I've ever met in my life. And anytime I have a question or like a weird scenario that pops up late one night, I'll usually hit him up and find out. But I think that may be a relic of the past, as these guys are making sure to notate significant action, as that should be the case. Judging should be taken super seriously at any level, but especially at a professional level. And we've noticed a good swing in the judging here.
All right, let's take a look at round 3 highlights. Could that have been the round that pushed Craig Willingham to his first win as a pro?
Maybe. I think he's pretty clearly won round 3. I think Trey wins round 2, and it comes up to round 1, which is as close as a round could get. I mean, the damage, volume, pacing, it was as close to 50-50 as I've ever seen.
Yeah, nothing significant one way or the other in the first round. And, very close fight all the way in all 3 rounds, but I think you got that right. 2 and 3 are a little bit more definitive, but round 1, was dead even. It was almost like they made a deal to exchange 1 for 1 in the first round.
So 2 more fights left on our prelims broadcast, by the way, for those of you who are watching. We still got Garrett Foster taking on Lester Batres Jr. We'll talk about the rest of those fights in a second. Inside the cage, let's see how the judges rule this one. Here's Wayne Luggett.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of combat, we go to the judges' scorecards for your decision. Brought to you by Howler Head Whiskey. With scores of 29-28, 30-27, and 30-27, your winner by unanimous decision, Craig Willingham.
Ham picks up his first win as a professional, and now for Treyvon Coker, 2 straight losses, takes his record to 2 and 3. So some work left to be done for Coker. Really fun fight. And that takes us to our next fight. Let's meet our first fighter.
No, Equal, we are not going to go Wayne. We're going to take a we're going to throw out some free stuff, right? No? Well, I don't know what we're doing then. This is a fun event today, guys. We're taking just a brief pause, give you a chance to get something to drink, something to eat, do something. We'll be right back with your next fight in about 5 minutes.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what's happening, but
keep your stream up. We'll be right back. We're going to take a quick break. The stream is still going to stay up, and we'll be back.
Garrett Foster.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Garrett Foster making his third walk to the Fury FC cage. A record of 0-3 right now. And he has fought some bad dudes. Sean Kennard, Zach Borrego. And this is his first fight at his weight class at 170. Fought Borrego at 195. Kennard was at 185. Yep, right? So he's excited just to make his natural 170 walk. So he accepted fights on short notice. He wants to fight, wants the experience. And here he is looking for that coveted first win.
Yeah, oddly enough, his opponent tonight is a 55er coming up to 170. So when the guys are like truly meeting in the middle. And Garrett has proven to be physical. You know, he stays in it for as long as he can. And like you said, Raheel, he's fought nothing but super tough killers and prospects, you know, a strong weight class ahead. And there is value in that experience he's had in this cage.
Yeah, Taekwondo black belt, a high school wrestler, and claiming that he's going to get his purple belt if he submits this guy after this fight. So we'll see about that. Not too many people can call it and get their belts, Alex. I don't know about you, but in my experience, that's a no-no. But yeah, we'll see if he can get it done today.
All right, Garrett is inside. Let's meet his opponent.
Please welcome to the red corner, Lester Batres Jr.
Lester Batres Jr., the hype around this young man is well-deserved. Comes from a great background, obviously, with his dad. But he's a guy that everyone's been talking about for a couple of years now. And coming off his first win as a professional against Tater McSpadden, got the tap over Tater McSpadden, a guy that we've seen go, you know, toe-to-toe against some really good fighters. Bruce Whitehead being one of them. Bruce, that went to a decision. So a tough win, or tough fighter who got finished by this young man.
Yeah, it was a really slick technical armbar here from Lester. A purple belt himself has had a wild amount of amateur fights. He's still very young. I'm talking in like the teens, which is a crazy amount of amateur fights. He did a few tournaments, you know, very experienced. You know, early pro, only 1-0, but has close to 20 fights under his belt. Yeah,
13-2 as an amateur, so 15 amateur fights. And then, you know, yes, that name is real, Tater McSpadden, first of all. Second of all, Tater McSpadden is a savage, and he's one of those guys that will go up, and he's another one of those guys. They could call Tater McSpadden, he'd fight a heavyweight if they asked him.
Our Taylor Tape brought to you by Sheath Underwear. Even on the reach, slight height advantage for Garrett Foster. And the big number on your screen, 21. Lester Batres Jr., the 21-year-old, looking for a big year here in 2024. It starts now against Garrett Foster. And Garrett Foster looking for that first win as a professional. Batres Jr. inside. We'll get our official introductions. Here's Wayne Leggett.
Ladies and gentlemen, your next fight, brought to you by SheathUnderwear.com, is scheduled for 3 rounds in the Fury FC welterweight division. Introducing your first competitor, fighting out of the blue corner. This freestyle fighter stands 6 feet tall, and he weighed in at 168 pounds. Fighting out of Dallas, Texas, today he seeks his first win as a pro. Here is Garrett, the Wolfman Foster. And introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. This mixed martial artist stands 5 feet 10 inches tall, and he weighed in officially at 170.2 pounds. Fighting out of Houston, Texas, he holds a professional record of 1 win, no losses. Here is the unit, Lester Batres Jr. Your referee in charge of the action, Professor Joe Solis.
Got ourselves a little Dallas-Houston matchup. Garrett training out there at Fortis, as well as Gracie Jim Richardson. So, oh, and he comes out flying. Going for that YOLO kick and takes a big slam in return. The unit, Lester Batres Jr. has an arm, and this might be it. There's the tap. Wow.
kicked into an armbar. That was wild.
Lester Batres Jr. is here.
Crazy.
Oh my. Let's take a look at the whole fight. There's that big kick to open up. The big slam. The arm was exposed. And that's all it took.
Man. Oh, wow.
Oh. "21 years old." On the Fury Unleashed podcast, he dropped in as a guest this past week. And we'll talk about the bet that they made, because we got to make things official inside. Here's Wayne Leggett.
Ladies and gentlemen, the end comes 14 seconds into the very first round. Declaring a winner by tap out due to an armbar, the unit, Lester Batres Jr.
I'm here with your winner, Lester Batres Jr. Lester, a little chaos to start the fight there. Were you expecting him to come out with that kind of vigor?
I expected him to come out, but I did not see that fucking flying kick coming. But you know what? Fuck it. We got to roll with the punches. Still got the W. We good.
Well, you did exactly that. Amidst that chaos, you were able to find an armbar in all that chaos. Walk us through that finish.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I got mad. I was like, fuck this guy. He got me in the fucking, hey, he got me right in the nose. I was like, all right, we're in it. We're in it. That's all I thought. That's all I had going through my head.
Well, it was an impressive win, and we look forward to seeing you again. Your winner, Lester Batres Jr.
Congratulations to Lester Batres Jr. And that bet was UFC 400 is about 8 years away. And Rich was saying, I bet you he's going to be on UFC 400, that card. So we got 8 years, and this is a good start for a really promising career.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a 14-second, armbar to stay undefeated. You can't ask for anything better. Let's book this guy soon.
Right, we have one more fight left. We got one more fight left here on our prelims broadcast. Let's meet our next fighter.
Please welcome to the blue corner, Mario Suazo.
Mario Suazo, 5th time inside the Fury FC cage. He's the hot boy. That's his nickname. I don't know how he got it, but the hot boy is here. Last time out, he fought Eddie Friday at FC 81 in July of 2023. And he's a guy that can go toe-to-toe against guys like Eddie Friday, but looking to snap a 2-fight losing streak, Michael.
Yeah, Mario Suazo is one of those guys who's, he doesn't turn down a fight. Everybody in the division basically has fought him, and either as an amateur or as a pro. But, Mario Suazo, we see his name on the list of everyone, and he's, it's never an easy fight. This is he's very, very tough. 5 fights as a pro, had 14 fights as an amateur, so, a seasoned veteran, even though he's 2-3.
Yeah, he's always been very fun to watch, and he'll grapple with the grapplers, he'll strike with the strikers. He kind of like he hears the battle horn and comes running. Every time they ask him to fight, he fights, and that's proven to make a really tough fighter in terms of his ability to control a lot of crazy scenarios in the cage. This is a very fun fight to cap off our prelims. Both guys, pretty experienced for our earlier pros.
Suazo coming here from Denver, training at Genesis Fight Academy. Has a really good gas tank, as you would expect if you're training in that elevation. Guy who loves to put on good fights, fun fights, and has a really tough opponent across the cage from him. Get to meet him in just a second. Mario is inside. Let's meet our next fighter.
Please welcome Cameron Cash to the right corner.
Cameron Cash, 2-2 record, first time inside the Fury FC cage, riding a 1-fight win streak, Michael. He's a guy that we're excited to watch.
Yeah, another, this guy likes to take the back. He loves the strangle. Good guillotine, good rear naked choke. He's 2-2 as a pro, but 7-3 as an amateur. So another 10-fight veteran as an amateur, and his 5th fight here as a pro. So 15 fights in, pretty impressive resume, Alex.
Yeah, and I feel like his team, Next Generation MMA, they had, 5 fighters on the all-amateur card last weekend. They kind of exploded into the Fury scene. Chris Brennan, the head coach's son, Derek Brennan, just fought in the PFL. They have a lot of fighters, and they have a really good wrestling and grappling style. So I'd imagine we're going to see this fight go to the ground pretty early.
Our Tale of the Tape brought to you by the DeLuna Law Firm. 2-inch height advantage, 1-inch reach advantage for the 33-year-old Mario Suazo. Cameron Cash came in at 126 for this flyweight bout. Both fighters are inside. Let's get our official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest brought to you by DeNunaLawFirm.com is scheduled for 3 rounds in the Fury FC Flyweight Division. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner. This mixed martial artist stands 5 feet 7 inches tall and he weighed in officially at 125.4 pounds. Fighting out of Denver, Colorado. Today, he looks for his 3rd professional win. Here is Mario Hot Boy Suazo. And introducing his opponent across the cage, fighting out of the red corner. This freestyle fighter stands 5 feet 5 inches tall and he weighed in at 126 pounds. Fighting out of Frisco, Texas, by way of Kansas City, Kansas, he holds a professional record of 2 wins, 2 losses. Here is Cameron Cash. Your referee in charge of the action, Danielle Guevara.
All right, final fight of our prelims broadcast. Got some flyweights going at it. Cameron Cash, Mario Suazo. Both fighters looking for their 3rd professional win. Blue gloves for Suazo, red for Cash.
Notice how low Suazo's standing. And that's a real bend in those knees. Usually that's indicative of somebody anticipating a takedown.
Suazo with that big overhand right. And boys, if this fight finishes early, we may be able to leave the site to go to lunch and eat between this.
Oh.
Main card broadcast on UFC Fight Pass, 4:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Featherweight title on the line. We will crown a new champ. It's going to be so much fun. Make sure you get your subscription in if you already don't have it. So UFC Fight Pass.
Wild movement from Suazo. Cash, a little more stiff of a striker, but is finding his moments to throw. Suazo's kind of hitting with the chaos play. Moving a lot, sitting low, throwing overhands, throwing low kicks. Throwing low kicks well, I should mention. It's the second one he's landed very strong. See a big red mark right behind the knee on the left leg of Cash.
Yeah, that makes it really hard for a fighter to get a grasp on, kind of where you're standing when it's that chaotic, but Cameron Cash able to do that, lands right on the temple with that left hand.
Oh, good counter punching there from Cash Money.
He's finding that left hook a lot. Oh, I think he rocked Suazo. And then on a strong front headlock. Oh, he's got this Darce choke locked up.
Man.
This is the Anaconda choke.
Yeah, that's tight. Locked. That's very, very tight. He needs to get that right leg over the bottom, that bottom leg. There he goes. Now this is going to be very tight. That's going to be very difficult. He's out. He's out. He's out.
Wow, what a finish.
Man.
Cameron Cash gets the tap of the hot boy, Mario Suazo.
Crazy. I mean, like, sprawled into a front headlock, into this Anaconda choke. It's cool. Mike was kind of walking us through what he needed to do to get him in. And then once he trapped the leg and started bridging, he was out. I mean, that was wild.
Yeah, you've got to control the lower part of the body to be able to lock that up. That, the Japanese necktie, you really need that. The dark choke, not so much. But, yeah, really nice finish there from Cameron Cash.
Hey, let's take a look at that finish one more time.
I think that uppercut that hurt him, something hurt Suazo, got him to cover, kind of make him take this desperation shot. And you saw that those arms were figure four before he rolled. And this has got to be super tight. It's already choking him. You see how Suazo's kind of backtracking like the hands of a clock. And in the moment Cash steps over, now he can bridge, and he's out. You saw his leg go straight. That's when he went out. Good job on the ref, Daniel Guevara, and noticing that instantly, stopping that fight. Huge win there for Cash. That was a cool finish.
A lot of finishes here in our prelims broadcast, and I love saying it, there's something in the air. So get ready to meet us on UFC Fight Pass. We're going to make things official here. Here's Wayne Leggett.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Daniel Guevara calls for a stop to the fight. 2 minutes, 6 seconds into the very first round, declaring a winner by submission due to a dark choke, Cameron Cash.
I'm here with your winner, Cameron Cash. Cameron, what a way to cap off the prelims here. There was a lot of erratic movement from Mario Suazo. He had a really low stance, looked like he anticipated a takedown. Was that part of your plan coming in here?
I didn't expect him to take me down at all. I kind of needed him to hit me first, as stupid as that sounds. Everybody knows that me in the gym, if I get touched and flip that switch, I'm fucking good. I can hang with the best, and I feel like that's kind of what happened. Man, I feel fucking good.
Well, on that finish, I mean, that could have been an instructional video on how to finish that Anaconda choke. Beautiful finish. Walk us through it.
Man, if I get the neck there in the Anaconda, that's like #1 submission, that and the guillotine. And once I hooked the leg, I actually thought he was still alive there. And then once she said he was out, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, it was pretty clear to us that he was out. We could kind of tell from over there, and we could tell that you didn't know because you were squeezing that extremely tight. But it was a beautiful finish, and we look forward to seeing you in here again. Your winner, Cameron Cash.
Congratulations to Cameron Cash on capping off our prelims with the tap of Mario Suazo, and congratulations to all of the winners on a very entertaining prelims broadcast. That will leave us to go to UFC Fight Pass at 4:30 p.m. for our featherweight title as well against Richardson. On behalf of everyone, I'm your host, Lee. For Michael Alexander, Alex Morono, I will talk to you on UFC Fight Pass.
Emily and Amanda, our Fury Ring Girls, they're going to be over there by the Fury FC banner taking pictures. If you take a picture with them, tag us on Instagram. You'll be entered for an opportunity to win free.